Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another episode of Boro Tailgate Talks. It is episode 13 now, I want to
I think,
say.
I think so. Yeah,
13.
13. We're still going. We're not declining.
We're not declining, according to one podcast on Spotify. Anyway, back for another week with another guest. This week, my personal guest. This is my friend AJ from high school, our honorary Packers fan that will potentially be going off a little bit today. We'll see how it goes. But we've got a lot to talk about. We all hope that all of you had a great Christmas, got everything you wanted, had a good time with your family. And let's get right into it with, again, talking about Christmas time. Let's go right to Steelers, Christmas Eve, prime time. Poor
Was
Derek
it
Carr,
pretty?
First of all, poor Derek Carr, benched, 99% likely to get traded at the end of the season, or going into next season, whatever you want to say. I guess we could just start running down some stats. Yucky game. Final was 13-10 for those of you who don't know.
It wasn't pretty.
The Raiders and the Steelers won a combined 11 for 26 on third down. So there you go. It's a pretty good indicator. Steelers did go 2 for 2 on fourth down. Kenny Pickett didn't have a horrible game. I usually start with the away team stats, but we'll start with the Steelers stats today. Pickett, 26 for 39, 244, a touchdown and an interception. Not bad. The pick was kind of bad, but I'm sorry,
horrible.
It was only one.
That was horrible.
Najee, 16 attempts for 53 yards. Nothing really spectacular. I thought he was kind of coming back up on the up and up again, but seems like he's kind of sticking right around average. Muth, number one receiver for Kenny Pickett again, 7 for 66. Deontay, 5 for 64, and Pickens, 5 for 47, or 57, excuse me. And Najee actually had 6 catches for 42, so almost 100 total yards on the game for Najee, not bad. And George Pickens had the Steelers' only touchdown on the game. Go figure. Kenny Pickett loves throwing to him. And then Raiders, God, again, I'm sorry, Derek Carr, but this was bad. 16 for 30, 174, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions. 3 pretty bad interceptions. I mean, the last one, Cam Sutton, that was a great play laying out to seal the game. Jacobs got shut down. The first drive, it looked like the Raiders were going to run all over us the whole game, and all of a sudden the Steelers' front seven just completely shut down Jacobs. 15 carries for 44 yards, averaging less than 3 yards per carry. Darren Waller, I mean, after being on IR for like 15 weeks in a row, had 4 catches for 58 yards, which was good for the most yards on the team. And Hunter Renfrow had the single Raiders touchdown. He had 4 catches for 42 and a touchdown. So, stinker of a game. Almost the exact same score as the Immaculate Reception game, that's pretty cool. That final was 13-7 in the AFC divisional round back in, 1972. So pretty cool. Did it for Franco. Halftime was really cool seeing all the stuff that they got done for him and everything. That was pretty awesome. So rest in peace to Franco. Good on the Steelers, who are now in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, sure. Okay. The standard is the standard. The standard is the standard.
I want to say there are, counting the Jaguars, who are currently winning the division at the AFC South, I want to say there's like 5 or 6 teams in the AFC that are 7-8 right now. So could go a lot of ways. Steelers have to win out to make playoffs, and I'm sure they need some favors from other teams as well. So I will let you guys speak your piece. I've kind of been talking my head off to start this, so I will let you guys speak your piece on the Steelers. And Mike, especially, you're a big Kenny Pickett guy. Everyone knows that. I want to see what you thought about Kenny Pickett's game.
Yeah, I'm the Kenny guy. As AJ, you probably don't know, I was actually pretty much there during Kenny's college career. I was there when he first started against Miami in 2017. They upset Miami and been my quarterback since 2017. So yeah, I'm a Kenny guy. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. It surely was not pretty. I mean, you look at the stats. Obviously, if you want to be like Colin Cowherd, just look at the stats and be like, "Oh, he played great." No, it wasn't pretty. But like, also you got to remember it is hard being a rookie, coming back from concussion protocol for a second time, playing for the first time in 2 weeks in like negative degree weather. That's not easy. It's not easy. Now that's an excuse, and the interception was bad, but I think he came in clutch when he had to, when he threw the touchdown to Pickens, and that's what it's all about. You're trying to get the win. You're not trying. I mean, we know Kenny's not going to throw 300 yards every game. Like that doesn't matter. What matters is you got the win, and they got the win at the end. So I'd say that's that. And going into Baltimore next week is that's a tough one, but we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Kenny.
That's a fair point to come from, but I just think looking at it from somebody who's not a Steelers fan, and so looking at it like I never watched Kenny in college.
Mm-hmm.
I look at how he's playing now, and I just don't think the Steelers are ever going to have meaningful playoff success with him. Like, I don't see Kenny as somebody who elevates the team. Like, if he has pieces around him, he can win games.
Mm-hmm.
When the opposing quarterback throws 3 interceptions and he has every opportunity in the world, but that's not going to happen every game. And I haven't seen him really take over a game yet this year, in my personal opinion. He's had good games, but I haven't seen him single-handedly just elevate the roster and make everybody better around him. So I personally don't think that the Steelers have like a Super Bowl upside, I think is what I'm looking for.
That's fair, but like I think it's more of a okay. Like I'll admit, I was one of them because I'm a Kenny guy. I thought the second he was going to come in, they were going to be lights out. They were not, and I was a fool for that. I'll admit, I was a fool for that. But in reality, looking at it for this year, it's more of a progression year for Kenny. I want to say you could definitely see he's progressing. Like look at the throws he made against the Dolphins, the Eagles, and then fast forward like after the bye, you can definitely see there was progression there. And yeah, okay, they beat the Colts, beat the Saints, you beat the Falcons, not that very good, but like he still showed progression against like the Bengals at least. You can't say that. You can't say he hasn't. But
30 points, yeah, against I would say a very, very underappreciated Bengals defense for sure.
Now, that's very fair from if you're not a Steelers fan to say that. I would definitely say if he doesn't keep progressing next year, then we got a problem. I would say, but I don't know. We'll see because like you're definitely right about the pieces part because before Addison got to Pitt, before he got like Lucas Crawl, who I didn't think was that good, but like other pieces like that, like I mean he had targets, but like not like lights out like players like Addison. But like once you gave him a piece like Jordan Addison, you saw what happened in like 2021, and then you saw how he got better in 2020. So you're definitely right about the pieces, and he definitely has like good targets. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I do agree with the not Super Bowl caliber team thing. I do agree with that.
I think the big thing for the Steelers right now is, let's be real here. George Pickens plays like a receiver one. Deontay does not. That's just the way I see it. So, I mean, the Steelers are most definitely worse than their record shows right now. They're almost a 500 football team right now, and they are not that good.
Nope.
We have what are we 7-8 now?
Yes,
7-8.
4 of those have come against the NFC South. You know what I mean? First of all, we own the NFC South this year.
Hey, we'd be NFC South champions if we were in that division.
We would be right now. We would win the NFC South if we were in that division. But this is the thing. You get lucky, you're still in position to draft Paris Johnson from Ohio State, the left tackle, who is elite. He's very good.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to draft Peter Skoronski. He's going to go top 10. He's a top 10 pick to me. He's a bona fide top 10. You get Paris Johnson in the first round, and then you have probably the 33rd, because there's a missing first round pick because the Dolphins are done this year.
Yeah, right.
So you'll have probably the 33rd overall pick from the Bears this season. I think Jordan Addison could be there.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
Kenny and Jordan Addison are not Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but the chemistry is the same.
Yeah.
They had great chemistry. They combined for like, in what you sent me something the other day, Mike. I think they combined for like over 2,000 yards and 20-something touchdowns in their time together at Pitt or something like that.
Well, I'll look it up right now real quick.
I know Kenny's last year, they combined, I want to say Addison had like 1,600 yards and like 10 plus touchdowns. He had a really good season. So you have Deontay, you have George Pickens, you have Jordan Addison, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris, and an improved offensive line with a defense that we already know can play good football. You're looking at an actual legitimate playoff contender. You're not looking at a 9-8 sneak into the playoffs, lose to, Baltimore in the first round or whoever they play. They played Kansas City last year and they got absolutely whooped. So, you have an offense and, hopefully a competent offensive coordinator. I personally think Frank Reich is going to be a head coach again come next season. Sean Payton is talking about coming back. I don't think Sean Payton will go to the Broncos. I think Frank Reich will probably be the Broncos head coach next year, in my opinion. But you'll have opportunities. I mean, if you can somehow manage Frank Reich as your offensive coordinator, next season, or even we'll talk about him later when we get to the game we're talking about, but I still think Nathaniel Hackett can be a good offensive coordinator when he's not responsible for the whole team. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a hot take considering how bad the Broncos are this year, but
I can't stand the Broncos.
Me either.
I'm gonna say this. If they hire Frank Reich next year, when we do rapid fire next year, I am still not picking the Broncos. If Russell Wilson is the quarterback, I am not picking the Broncos
next year at all. No, I think it's possible though. I think if they manage to land Frank Reich as an offensive coordinator, which again I just don't think will happen, but if the Steelers get that lucky to hire a good offensive mind, we could be having a really, really different conversation next year. But that's my piece on the Steelers. Mike, do you have Jordan Addison stats from his last year?
Yeah, I do. And I'm gonna give you the stats, and then since we talked about the Broncos, unfortunately, there's something I got to point out. So for the stats, so from what I sent you, I'm just gonna read you the little paragraph I sent you from the thing I sent you the other day. Once projected a top 10 pick, Addison's draft stock is falling. It is what it is. Pickett and Addison combined for 2,259 yards and 21 touchdowns at Pitt in 2000. But that's probably for like the entire time Addison was there, not just obviously.
Yeah.
The 2021 season, but yeah, hey, like I said, last two episodes, Pickett and Addison. If he's there,
it's possible.
If he's there, take him. If he's there, but obviously you got to focus on trying to get Paris Johnson first, and then maybe. Well, here's the thing though too. What about the best corner that will be available in the second round? What about that? That's my issue.
Yeah, I haven't looked super deep into this draft class yet. I know the top guys, and that's about it. So obviously, Keely Ringo is probably going to be the first corner off the board, the corner from Georgia. But other than that, I'm not really sure. Definitely going to be. I don't know if this is a super strong defensive back class or anything like that. I know there's going to be some solid receivers. There's going to be some solid offensive linemen, and obviously some really good quarterbacks. So,
right, and my last piece for now for the Steelers is looking back before they drafted Kenny last year. People wanted the Steelers to get Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, or Baker Mayfield, and then obviously the fourth choice was Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, before that was Aaron Rodgers when we thought he was leaving.
Yeah,
was leaving Green Bay, but he stayed.
And I think the Steelers made the right call. I'm just saying. I definitely think they made the right call. But all right, that's for me.
Moving on. Time for AJ. Green Bay Packers.
I'm gonna shut up.
20-10 at halftime. Packers defense shuts out Miami in the second half. outscoring them 16-0 and taking home the 26-20 road victory on Christmas Day against Miami. AJ, what are your thoughts?
I don't know how much of this is the Packers playing good and how much of it is Tua being concussed. He turned the ball over 3 times in the second half, and that just doesn't happen. All 3 interceptions came after the half, shut out in
Yeah.
the second half. The Packers defense has not been good this year. Joe Barry has been one of the worst failed experiments in the entire NFL, which is embarrassing considering our last, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our last 7 first-round picks have been defensive players. Our
Wow.
defense should not be bottom 5 in rush defense and bottom 10 in pass defense. It just shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't be.
I think it all comes down to scheme, personally. I think Joe Barry just isn't the answer. I think we need to switch defensive coordinators. I don't know what I want this Packers team to do, though. I don't know if I want them to win out and make the playoffs and probably get murdered by the 49ers again, or if I want them to lose out and just get a better draft pick and reset for Aaron Rodgers' probably last year of his career.
So some Tua stats. Pre-concussion, he was 9 of 12 for 229 and a touchdown, averaging 19 per attempt. And then post-concussion, he was 7 for 13 for 81 yards and 3 interceptions, averaging 6.2 per attempt. So major difference. This is, we talk about a season of the NFL like it's a year, but Tua has had 3 head injuries, if you don't want to call them all concussions. He's had 3 head injuries in the past 3 months. That's really, 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 really bad. I mean, people have been talking for years about how, oh, Crosby gets another concussion, his career's probably over, or, Antonio Brown's crazy, he's probably got CTE. We're all basically waiting for him to die so we can figure out if he has CTE and see if we're all right. What do you guys think? There's been a couple of neurologists that have said it's time for Tua to just walk away because that's some really, really serious damage to your head. And obviously, it's his decision. Mike McDaniel got some fire for the major one when he tensed up against the Bengals and it looked really bad. But ultimately, Tua's his own man and he can decide if he wants to continue his career or not. What do you guys think? I want to hear what you guys think about that.
AJ, you can go first.
I mean, I think the whole situation around him having multiple concussions this year has been embarrassing. It's been an awful mishandle by the NFL. This shouldn't happen. He's been in concussion protocol 4 times this year, 3 or 4 times this year.
3 or 4, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That should never happen. And it's also partially on the Dolphins for even letting him play. He's getting abused back there. And I think he'll play through it, probably, because that's just like the type of person he is. He wants to push through that kind of stuff. I don't know if he should. It's gonna keep happening. That's just part of the game. This is just a bad situation overall for the NFL, for Tua and the Dolphins.
It is.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know, because we're in 2022, and with like looking at the players in the past, like looking at the movie Concussion with Will Smith, like it was a good movie to describe like what happened with like CTE back in like the early 2000s. You would think the NFL would learn from that, which they might have, but like this year, it's not really like making them look good.
Not at all.
So like, yeah, like I don't know. It's like, come on, it's 2022. You gotta protect the players. Like,
and it all comes down to the fact that the NFL obviously has things set in place where they have medical professionals watching the game. They can call medical timeouts when something happens. Something I just figured out last night, actually, I was watching a video on it. When the Cardinals and the Patriots were playing the other week, Devontae Parker actually got tackled and smacked his head off the ground and very clearly was like in a daze. and nobody even noticed. The only reason Devontae even got pulled out of the game is because Cliff Kingsbury challenged the play, and it stopped long enough for the medical staff to realize, oh my God, this dude can barely even stand up straight. We need to get him out of the game. So if that didn't happen, the medical staff claimed they were about to take a medical timeout, but Cliff Kingsbury challenged the play, so it didn't really matter. But it just seems like this year, for some reason, it's very apparent that the NFL is just not really paying attention to players like they should be. So it's concerning. Going back to the game, though, Tua had like I said, really good first half. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill both went for over 100 yards apiece. Jalen Waddle having a 76-yard touchdown. And Aaron Rodgers didn't play a horrible game. 24 for 38 for 238, a touchdown and a pick. But it was the story of the two passing games, really. I mean, neither team really rushed for much of anything. So big second half for the Packers, pretty much off the back of Tua being concussed. But big win for the Packers, keeps them in it. They win out, and the couple teams lose, they're right in it, and they're going to be in the playoffs. So guess we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna ask AJ a quick question about this. So obviously, since I'm a Steelers fan, but I did watch the game where Jordan Love did get to play at the end of was it the Eagles game?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, dude. I liked what I saw from him from there. I did.
Yeah, that Jordan Love is our one offensive first round pick of the last 7 first rounds, which is insane that you wouldn't get Rodgers a weapon, first of all. But
right,
I don't know. He has come in when he was out for COVID last year when they played the Chiefs, and Love played better than Mahomes. He had like 150 more yards and an extra touchdown than Mahomes, along with like the same completion rate. But then we've also seen him come in like week 17 games and he'll throw 2 interceptions, and it's just awful. Everything I've heard from practice is that he's just not developing at the rate that he should be, sitting behind Aaron Rodgers and sitting on the bench for 4 years. I still personally believe in him, but the biggest rumor right now is that if he doesn't start next year for the Packers, he's going to request a trade because he wants to start for a team. He was a first-round pick.
Yeah,
he knows what he can bring to the table.
I was just about to ask about that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and he wants to start.
And looking at
Rodgers is still playing.
Yeah. Like, I wanted to point this out too real quick. The people that the Packers passed on that year when they picked Jordan Love, Clout Edwards-Helaire, T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor.
Wow, I forgot JT got drafted that late.
Yeah, Claypool was 2020 as well. And
that's not the only draft either. We've taken awful prospects before, like Terry McLaurin and DK Metcalf. Like, we took AJ Dillon before DK Metcalf was drafted. Why? Yeah. Why would we take a running back 2 instead of a potentially wide receiver 1? I don't understand Brian Gutekunst's draft philosophy.
Me either.
No. So, yeah, that's right for that.
Next game on deck, potentially, I don't think it'll be game of the year after Buffalo and Minnesota, and even just Indianapolis and Minnesota, because it's the biggest comeback in NFL history. But big, exciting game. I watched this entire game on Christmas Eve. Dallas Cowboys getting a big home win against the Philadelphia Eagles, and Gardner Minshew, baby. Minshew mania, 40-34. It was a crazy game. Unfortunately for Dallas, this doesn't really make a difference in who wins the division because the Eagles just need to beat the Saints or the Commanders, and they're the 1 seed in the division winner. So it doesn't really matter. Or the Saints and the Giants, excuse me, not the Commanders. But big game. Gardner Minshew, 24 for 40 for 355, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. I mean, 2 picks isn't good, but came in and threw for 355. Miles Sanders, 21 for 65 on the ground. Devontae Smith, big game, 8 receptions for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then AJ Brown, of course, 6 for 103. And then for the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, 27 for 35, really good game. 347, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Zeke had 55 rushing yards and a touchdown. And CeeDee Lamb, finally a receiver one game, 10 receptions for 120 and 2 touchdowns. He had a big performance against the Eagles secondary. What do you guys think this does for Dallas? Do you think this proves that Dak Prescott can be a serious danger in the playoffs to a team?
I'm gonna have to think about this one. AJ, you got something?
I personally don't. I think that this game goes a way different way if Jalen Hurts plays.
Me too.
I'm a big Gardner Minshew guy. I like Gardner Minshew a lot. He's
Yeah,
like
his jersey.
one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite non-Packers players. But Jalen Hurts changes the Philadelphia Eagles offense in such drastic ways because he can scramble and the way that they design him in the run and all the stuff that they can do with run pass options. I don't think Dallas even has a chance to score 40 points because I think with Jalen Hurts, they eat up so much more clock.
They do.
I think this game becomes like a 24-21 kind of game. I think since Gardner Minshew was in and they were just throwing the ball. I mean, Miles Sanders got 21 carries, but the run game was not working. They only had 65 yards. He averaged 3.1 yards a carry. The run game was not working. I think the run game would have gashed Dallas's defense had Jalen Hurts been able to play.
They're very bad against the run this year. They are.
Exactly. Having that extra threat of quarterback running is almost immeasurable. We've seen what Lamar Jackson's been able to do over the last couple of years. And Jalen Hurts is getting up to that level when it comes to rushing ability.
Even prime Russell Wilson with RPOs and with read options and with zone reads and stuff like that. Prime Russell Wilson the same way.
Exactly. It is so hard to stop a play where you have to watch 3 things to understand what's going to happen. You have to watch the running back, watch the quarterback if the quarterback's going to keep it or hand it off, and then you have to watch if the quarterback does keep it, is he going to run or is he going to throw with it? It is such a hard offense to stop, especially when the running backs are Miles Sanders, who's a good running back in his own right, and the receivers he's throwing to, AJ Brown's a top 10 receiver. Devontae Smith is one of the best young receivers in the league. They have a lot of weapons, and I don't think Dallas wins this game if Jalen Hurts had played.
Me either.
Nah, I agree. And to the point of if Dak's like a serious threat, I'm gonna go with the whole team, the Cowboys, as if they're a threat. For me, the way I look at it, I think they are like the Yankees. They build up, they get all this talent, everybody gasses them up, they're going to be good, and they just cannot win the big one at the end of the year. I think they're like the Yankees. That's just my personal opinion. They got the tools. Zeke is a beast. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like Dak.
Tony Pollard's a running back 1 in my opinion, and they have 2 running back 1s on their roster.
Right.
I agree.
So I just think they're like the Yankees. They just cannot win the big one at the end. They got the talent, but when it comes down to when you get to the playoffs or trying to make it to the playoffs, they just can't. They can't win the big one.
Yeah. See, I'm not a big believer in moral victories, but if I'm Nick Sirianni, I'm getting on that plane after that Dallas game and I'm thinking, we just scored 34 points with Gardner Minshew when we had 3 turnovers in the game on the road. We managed 34 points with 3 turnovers and our backup quarterback, and we weren't even at our own home stadium. I think this is a game where the Eagles look at it and they're just looking forward at this point. Like I said, they have 2 pretty weak opponents to finish the season. And they're going to be cruising in the playoffs. They're going to have a week off to rest. And I really, really, really think the Eagles are fully set to just go on an absolute tear through the playoffs this season. So We'll see how that goes. Big game, though. Dallas proving that they can compete with the best of them in some situations. So we'll see how it all turns out. And finally, last game of the season. I thought this would be the second time our doctrine was wrong, Mike, but we were very, very right. The Denver Broncos, who were, I want to say, 4 or 5 point road favorites, lost to the Los Angeles Rams 51-14 on Christmas Day, subsequently getting Nathaniel Hackett fired. So let's talk about it. First of all, Baker Mayfield, 24 for 28 for 230 and 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers, 23 carries, 118 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Tyler Higbee, big game. Didn't have a receiving touchdown all year. 9 receptions for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Rams offense looked like freaking Matthew Stafford Rams against the Bears in week 1 last year. Just rolling. Russell Wilson, God bless the man's soul. He's done for. 15 for 27, 214, a touchdown, and 3 picks.
Washed.
Brett Rippon came in relief, 4 for 8, 45 yards and a pick. And literally no one on the Broncos offense rushed for any yards. Jerry Jeudy had a good game. He had 6 receptions for 117 yards, but that's about it. Guys, the Broncos were allowing 15 points per game defensively coming into this game. Baker Mayfield and the Rams put up 50 burger on them at home. What do you even do at this point if you're the Broncos? What do you guys think? I'm shook.
Stop playing.
Yeah, forfeit the rest of the season.
Forfeit.
Pull Madden, relocate your franchise, go to a different city.
Go to. I can't think of any team. I can't think of any cities right now that would take the Broncos organization.
Do a
Go back
TD
to
Bear,
St.
make them the
Louis.
Memphis Egyptians.
St. Louis, San Diego. There you go.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking about this the other day. Doesn't the San Diego Chargers sound better than the Los Angeles Chargers?
It sounds so much better to me. Much better.
Yeah. But they're in a better stadium, I'll admit. But like San Diego Chargers, it just sounds better.
They're also sharing it with the Rams. It's not even their own stadium.
No, it's not.
Yeah, and also the roof is shaped of the Rams logo. Why? You couldn't at least put like a lightning
Chargers are a
symbol in the
poverty
middle?
franchise. Chargers are a poverty franchise.
Oh, trust me, I know a lot about poverty franchises. Screw the Pirates. Yeah, but
so what do you guys think about Russ? I mean, what do you even do? Like I said, I don't think Sean Payton's going to take over this organization. He's building his super staff already because he wants to come back to the league. Vic Fangio being the defensive coordinator, God knows who he's going to get to be the offensive coordinator, but I don't think he's going to want to take over the Broncos. So they're in some heat right now for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. This isn't the Russell Wilson we've seen over the last 10 years. Like,
no,
I do not think it's all Russ's fault.
No, it's not.
Personally, coming from a Green Bay fan who always played against Seattle in playoff games and would always play against them, this is not the Russell Wilson that we are used to seeing. And I think if we had to split up blame, I would put like 60 to 70% of the blame on Nathaniel Hackett. Personally, I do not think Nathaniel Hackett is that good. He was the coordinator for Green Bay for the last 2 years, both of Rodgers' MVP seasons. But he never called plays. Matt LaFleur called all of the plays for offense in Green Bay. He was kind of just there to like help him out. I don't think Nathaniel Hackett is a good coordinator. I think it was mostly on him. I think Russ can get back to form personally.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Russ does deserve some blame, but like it's not all his fault. I'll say, because there was like a lot of times you can see over this past season, there was a lot of open receivers, and Russ just didn't see them. So I don't know. It's just a train wreck year for the Broncos. What was that, Alex?
The big problem is Russ's whole career has been built around athleticism, and he just does not have the athleticism he used to. What other year in his career have you seen Russell Wilson get chased down from behind on a play? You've never. Russell Wilson never. If he was bootlegging out to his right, no one was coming from the left side, no matter who it was. No Bradley Chubb, no Von Miller, no, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, none of them. No one was catching up to Russ from behind and bringing him down. He's just not the athleticism that he used to have is not quite there anymore. So I don't think Sean Payton's going to go there, but if he does, I think he would be the best candidate because he managed to do a lot of really good things with a very old, immobile, and weak arm Drew Brees. Russell Wilson at this point in his career definitely has a better arm than Drew Brees does, and they have the pieces when they're healthy. Javonte Williams is going to be back at some point next year from his ACL tear. Your offensive line will be healthy. You're going to have Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, all those guys.
Patrick comes back.
Yeah, Tim Patrick's going to come back from a torn ACL as well. Apparently, Greg Dulcich is a good tight end now. That I don't even know who that is, but he's apparently a good tight end now. So, Drew Brees not Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, in a similar situation. He's smaller, not mobile like he used to be, but he's got a stronger arm. So I think Sean Payton, with a super staff, could kind of build a really good scheme around Russell Wilson. So I don't know. This one was embarrassing. As much as I'm a Baker Mayfield doubter, I'm happy for the dude. I think
I'm telling you, he's back. He's back.
Sean McVay is the right coach for Baker Mayfield. He believes in him. He has an offensive scheme that works for a guy like Baker Mayfield. A lot of play action, a lot of stuff to get guys open. So, I mean, there's some interesting things going on with these two organizations. Matt Stafford's going to be healthy again, but he's old. Do you want to keep playing him? He's got a big contract. These two organizations are in for an interesting next couple of years, to say the least.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see. That's all I'm gonna say. But also thinking about Baker, and I'll go back to I'll transition to another quarterback. Matthew Stafford comes back next year. Is there controversy? No.
I don't think Baker Mayfield's on the same playing field as Matt Stafford when he's healthy.
This is a hot take for me. Mm-hmm. I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to be on the Rams next year.
That's fair.
It's possible.
I think what they did was they picked him up off waivers simply because they needed a Band-Aid quarterback. And they don't have their own draft picks. So I think the strategy they went with was get a guy that we know can at least be competent and try to win as many games as we can to not let the Lions have the best pick. Personally, that's what I think. I think the most interesting thing about the Rams, though, is what they're going to do with Cam Akers. Because they tried to trade him before the trade deadline. They were trying to shop him. He didn't want to be with the Rams. It didn't end up getting done, but now he's playing like this since they haven't been able to trade him. I'm kind of interested to see if he stays and if he's able to build off of what he's been doing these last couple of weeks.
It's going to be interesting. And last thing, I want to talk about one last thing, and then we're going to do rapid fire, and we're probably going to wrap this up because we
got a lot of time. You're good. We got a lot of time.
Do we still have a lot of time? Okay, perfect. So
we got about close to 20 minutes ish, so we're good.
This shouldn't take very long anyway. Justin Herbert officially has finally reached a winning record in his career as an NFL quarterback and has clinched a playoff berth for the Los Angeles Chargers. What are you guys' opinions? I personally am a big Herbert fan. I was a big detractor in the draft. I thought, Brett Coleman is like gospel to me, and I watched his video on Justin Herbert pre-draft, and I was not sure about the guy, but I am a huge Herbert fan now. I love his game, and I'm excited that they're going to be a playoff team this year. So what do you guys think?
Yeah. Herbert definitely, I think, is a very good quarterback, and definitely I knew he had the potential to lead his team to the playoffs. So yeah, I'm happy for Herbert. I'm glad the Chargers made it and ruined the Steelers' playoff chances. It's I think I think he's gonna be very good for a long time. I don't think this year they're gonna win the Super Bowl, but definitely a good team, definitely a playoff team. I would say. I definitely said they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think Herbert's a top 5 quarterback easily, in my opinion. He's probably number 4 for me personally. but they need to get healthy. They haven't been healthy all
Bad.
year. This was the first game when Keenan Allen and Mike Williams played together since like week 5 or something. They have both been hurt this whole season. Getting him weapons is amazing. It's really opened up the offense. I think defensively, though, they are a big liability. They're also hurt on defense as well. Joey Bosa isn't playing. He's been hurt. J.C. Jackson went down for the year. That's a big loss. Derwin James is
Suspended
getting
now.
himself ejected. He's getting himself ejected from games. I think that defense is a massive liability. I also think Brandon Staley isn't the answer.
Me either.
He was supposed to be a big defensive guy, and ever since Herbert got drafted and Staley's been the coach, that defense has been one of the worst in the NFL over the last 2 or 3 years. It's been pretty embarrassing. It's not like they don't have players. They have Derwin James. They have J.C. Jackson. He's hurt though. They have Bosa. They have Khalil Mack,
Khalil
who's
Mack.
still somehow producing at this age. They have Asante Samuel. They have players on defense, and they just
Nasir
have not
Adderley's
been
an
able.
underrated safety.
Exactly. They just have not been able to put it together, and I think a lot of that goes back to coaching as well. Same thing with the Packers.
Yeah, I think I'm in the majority of people because I've been seeing it a lot, especially since Herbert's clinched the playoff berth. But I think largely Justin Herbert has been failed by his organization. I genuinely think so. Justin Herbert is a legitimate, possible, like, can play top 3 quarterback level.
Yep.
He's elite. I think he belongs in the elite conversation, and his organization has overall not done him very well to this extent of his career yet. When you put up the numbers that you do despite your football team, there's not much else you can say about it. So,
Right.
proud of Herbert. Finally, I think they're a scary wild card team. I think a lot of teams would not want to play them even at home when they're healthy in the playoffs. So,
Yeah, before we move on to rapid fire, I got a little take that hopefully when I come back to this episode, it doesn't hurt me. I got a take. I think next year Brock Purdy will be QB1 when Garoppolo and Trey Lance are healthy.
That's a hottest of hot take, and I completely disagree. I think Trey Lance will come back, and I think Trey Lance will most definitely be QB1 at San Francisco.
No, for sure. But that doesn't mean he'll play well, and they're in the middle of a game, and would you look at that? Brock Purdy's coming in. That could happen.
I mean, Brock Purdy's basically a younger Jimmy G, so realistically, I could see the 49ers letting Jimmy G go at this point.
Oh, for sure.
And I think a quarterback needy team, like if the Houston Texans don't take a quarterback in the draft this year, or the Panthers, or whoever doesn't trade for Derek Carr, even the Commanders might pick him up. Depending on what happens, there's a lot of quarterback needy teams that could be signing Jimmy G in this offseason if the Niners decide to cut ties with him. So
yeah, I mean, I got a list of teams here, and just thinking about like their quarterback situation, and since we got time, I don't know if you guys, I mean, I can read them, and then maybe you could say, do they need a quarterback? Do they not need a quarterback?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we'll go with that. So Cowboys, no.
Nope.
Titans.
Malik Willis is there. I think they're going to want to develop him for at least a year or two.
Yeah, so
I see how he does.
I say give him a year. At least see what you have in him when the offense is actually designated for him and not Tannehill.
Right. Ravens.
Nope.
Well, no, wait. What if they trade Lamar?
Or if they don't sign his contract. Yeah, they'll give him his contract.
Probably. I think they'll sign him.
They should. But I saw the trade rumors, so that was a question mark. But
the Ravens need to sign Lamar, and they need to run him less. Is what they need to do.
Yep.
Because Lamar is very quickly showing why quarterbacks like him don't typically last long in the NFL, because they get, beat down real fast. So they need to re-sign him, and they need to rework the offense just a little bit. Still have him as a threat, but he needs to be more of a Jalen Hurts than a Lamar Jackson next year, in my opinion. Needs to be more RPOs than just straight quarterback runs.
Right. Now for this next one, You guys better watch what you say, or I'm gonna edit it out. The Steelers, no.
I don't think they will. I thought last year it would be a possibility if Trey Lance was the full-time starter, but they kept Jimmy G, and obviously Trey Lance got hurt. So
The Chargers, nope.
nope,
Rams, nope.
I don't think so. Not in the division. No, yeah,
Nope. Packers.
nope, I don't think so.
No. Vikings, no. Seahawks, probably.
It's a possibility.
I actually don't think so. I think what the Seahawks are going to do is they're going to use like their first round picks that they got from Denver, and I think they're just going to build the defense and build the O-line. I think they can rock with Geno for one more year.
I think
Draft
so
the
too.
quarterback next year. I think
Draft
that's
like
what they'll
Anthony
do.
Richardson or something like that.
That might be my hot take. I don't think the Seahawks draft the quarterback.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
my first way too early mock draft, I had them taking like Jalen Carter or Brian Breesy or one of those defensive linemen from like Clemson. Yeah.
Right. The Jets.
This one's actually possible. This one's definitely feasible.
I don't know if they'll stick with. Sorry, go ahead.
I think they should trade for Derek Carr.
Again, I was gonna say with these teams, with like the Jets, the Commanders, the Colts, the Panthers, it's gonna be one of the teams that doesn't trade for Derek Carr, because one of those teams is gonna trade for Derek Carr. It's just the way it's gonna go.
Right.
So wherever Derek Carr doesn't land is a possibility for Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Derek Carr, the Raiders. Yes.
It's possible. Yeah. Okay.
I can see that.
Yep. 49ers, we kind of pretty much already talked about it. They're good. Texans, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're going to definitely take I think they're going to take Stroud or Young. So,
yeah.
Jags, no. No.
The Prince.
Trevor Lawrence is him.
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence is him.
He is him. Commanders, yes. I'm going to go yes.
Possible, yeah, for sure. Definite possibility.
I don't think so. I think you guys aren't giving Carson Wentz a fair enough chance. I don't think he was hurt.
He's starting this week, right?
Yeah, he is starting this week.
So okay, I'll bite on that. I'll bite on them giving Carson Wentz a full season.
Mm-hmm.
I think Carson Wentz gets too much. He gets too much of the blame. I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Browns, no. Bucks, it depends where Brady goes.
If Brady retires or goes somewhere else.
If Brady retires, personally.
Yeah.
I really think he should.
Yeah. That's a maybe. That's a maybe, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Panthers, yes.
Definite possibility.
Eagles,
although they might want to see what they have in Matt Corral.
This is also true. He's been out all season.
That's true.
Been on IR.
I forgot about Matt Corral. You're right.
Yeah, I think he like broke his ankle or something. Wasn't that what it was?
It was
a foot something.
It was the Liz Frank injury. It's the bone that connects your toes to your foot. Yeah.
Oh,
God, that's so gross.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, no, they spent a third round pick on him. I think they would want to at least see what they have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although Sam Darnold hasn't played that.
No, he hasn't. I think Matt Corral might have started a couple games this season though if he didn't get hurt, based on the way the Panthers season has gone.
Right. Eagles, what do you think? What about the Saints? Probably. Jameis Winston.
See, I really like Jameis Winston, but he just turns the ball over. He turns the ball over so much, and he keeps getting hurt. Honestly, I think they might just re-sign Dalton for a cheap 1-year deal. Wait till next year.
They know it's not really their year yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Colts, yes.
Definite possibility.
I think they trade up in the draft. I think they try to get a Young or a Stroud.
Or maybe a Levis or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Or a Hendon Hooker. Yeah. No.
The Giants.
I still
Probably
really,
not.
I still really don't know what they're gonna do about the whole Daniel Jones situation because you're gonna have to sign him again soon.
Mhm.
They
So
declined his option, so they have to sign him this offseason.
yeah,
Right.
it'll be interesting.
I almost don't think they do.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go no. Patriots probably not. It's just not like them to go for another quarterback, even though Mac Jones
No.
and Bailey Zappi's.
Meh.
Those
Uh,
are like competent Bill Belichick quarterbacks, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. That's true.
yeah. The Dolphins. Thinking of Tua, I don't know. I don't know.
If Tua can stay healthy, he just hasn't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Teddy Bridgewater isn't even that bad of a backup either. He can run that offense.
No, he's
too.
been a competent NFL quarterback. I mean, he was a really good NFL quarterback until it tore his ACL. So
Right.
I mean,
right.
he gets the start this week, so I mean, we'll see what he does with Reek and Waddle.
yeah,
Right. These next two are going to be rapid fire because they're obvious. Chiefs is an obvious no. I
No.
know you guys are going no, obviously. Broncos, yes. Screw Russell Wilson.
I think they give Russ next season, and then if he's really bad, like this bad again next year, I think they consider just eating the next 4 years of cap hell and just going with it.
Mm. Right. Lions, no. They're sticking with. They're going to stick with Jared
They're
Goff.
running with goofball. They're gonna
Yeah,
stick it. They're
Goofball
gonna
Goff,
stick it.
dude.
I'm gonna save this one team for last because I feel like I don't know. We'll see. Falcons. Do they run with Handler?
I think they have to at this point. Now that they gave him the start, they spent a second round pick on him.
Yeah.
I think they gotta at least give him a full year as the starter.
I agree.
Right. Cardinals. I'm gonna go no.
No,
But
I think Kyler can be a franchise quarterback.
yeah, but
I think if they get like a Frank Reich, I think
This is
that could be the
that's another good possible landing spot for him.
yeah. Did you guys see the report that Kyler and Kingsbury are like growing like apart?
Yeah.
I think
I saw a report. I saw a report that Kingsbury might like willingly retire
Resign.
from the NFL and
Yeah.
go back to college.
that's what I think.
saw that too.
I think there is no way they keep their coach around for a like picking between coach and franchise quarterback. No crap. You go for the franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially since you just paid him.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. The Bears. No.
I don't think so.
No. I mean, I think Justin Fields could be good.
I think he can be too.
I definitely think he can be good. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go now. I was thinking
Me
about it
too.
for a second, but once we were talking about the Cardinals and thinking about it, I changed my answer to now.
Yeah.
So Alex, that's all the teams. But so we got about 7-ish minutes for rapid fire. We got time to get it in. You got the teams.
I do.
games?
I do.
Yes.
All right. Tonight, 8:15. Cowboys at Titans. I think we all know this one.
No, I'm kidding. Cowboys.
Yeah. I think the Titans
Sadly,
the Titans could annoy the Cowboys with the run game because the Cowboys have been kind of bad against the rush this year, but I don't think the Titans get it done. Cardinals at Falcons. Yeah.
Falcons. Cardinals or Mets.
Yeah, me too.
probably Falcons. Yeah.
Dolphins at Patriots. I don't think the Patriots. I really even with Teddy starting, I don't think the Patriots are as good as the Dolphins. So I'm going to take the Dolphins on the road this week.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
All right, Saints at Eagles. Eagles clinched the 1 seed this week.
Absolutely.
Colts at Giants. God, Daniel Jones versus Matt Ryan.
No. Nick Foles. Is it Nick Foles? I could have sworn.
Nick Foles, yeah. Nick Foles versus Daniel Jones. I think the Giants just want it more, honestly.
Yeah.
They're playing for a playoff spot. I'm going to take the Giants.
I'm going to go Giants as well.
Yeah, I'll go Giants.
Panthers at Buccaneers. The Panthers could win the division. The Panthers could win the division.
No. Late season Tom Brady. No.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady will get it done and seal up the division, but if the Panthers
I'm gonna pick. I'll pick the upset there. I'll take the Panthers. Their
they
run
beat them
game's been
21-3 at home this season.
I like it.
Oh, Mike, this is an easy one for us. Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs.
Chiefs, screw the Broncos.
Bears at Lions.
Lions, Dan Campbell.
I'm gonna take the hometown boys. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions.
As much as I want the Bears to win, because that helps the Packers out, Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Browns at Commanders. I'm gonna take the Commanders. I think. I just don't think the Browns are good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Commanders.
I'm gonna take the Browns. I think Nick Chubb has a day.
It's also very possible. Jaguars at Texans. I think Travis Etienne's gonna have an absolute field day against the Texans run defense, so I'm gonna go with the Jaguars.
It's gonna be another 300 plus passing game for Trevor Lawrence, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
That honestly might clinch the division if the Titans lose.
It could. It definitely could.
Hey, Alex TK will be happy.
Oh God, TK will be thrilled. 49ers at Raiders. 49ers are still better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Niners, Brock Purdy, baby.
Jets at Seahawks.
I'm gonna take the Jets with Mike White, personally.
With Mike White. I'll go with it. I'll go with the road upset for Mike White.
I'm gonna go Seahawks.
I love Mike White.
Yeah, I do too. I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Vikings at Packers. This one's gonna be tough.
This one's in Green Bay.
This one is
That's
in Green
important.
Bay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Packers. I think the Vikings are gonna choke. I'm gonna go Packers.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Packers as well.
I will very, very clearly go Packers.
The battle of the two home teams, Rams at Chargers. Chargers. Yeah.
Chargers.
Yeah.
The fact that this is a home game for both teams is so stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really funny.
That's why the Chargers should have stayed in San Diego.
Steelers at Ravens. Is Lamar healthy this week?
I think so. Wait. Actually, I don't know.
If Lamar doesn't play, I think the Steelers could pull it off because they almost pulled it off last time.
Yeah.
They did.
That's on prime time. Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, this is gonna be a game the Steelers screw up, even if Lamar is healthy or not. I'm gonna go Ravens.
Is this the game do they have to win this game to go above 500?
Yeah.
I think the Steelers will pull it out of their ass somehow. I think they'll do it.
Of course they will. I agree. I agree.
The standard is the standard.
And then
Standard's the standard.
I think this game is actually going to be really good. Bills at Bengals for Monday Night Football.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, that's tough.
I think I'm gonna take the Bengals.
I think I
think we see a 2-turnover Josh Allen game. I just think Joe Burrow's not gonna turn the ball over. I think Josh Allen will. I think that's what's gonna come down to.
You know what? Real quick, I have a Joe Burrow hot take.
Mm-hmm.
In a vacuum, depending on the situation, I would actually prefer Joe Burrow over Patrick Mahomes. Hear me out. Patrick Mahomes is obviously insane. We're gonna stick in a vacuum. Both teams have the same weapons, right? Make it even. Both teams have the same offense. Both teams have the same everything. Everything's the same. Joe Burrow is just a little bit smarter sometimes. Patrick Mahomes is a little more prone to making what I consider suicidal mistakes when it comes to throwing the football. He's a little more reckless. His footwork's a little more sloppy. His mechanics are a little more sloppy. Joe Burrow is not Tom Brady, but he is more Brady-esque. Joe Burrow is more to me Brady-esque, and Mahomes is more like Brett Favre-esque in terms of the way they play football. So in a vacuum, with the same weapons, I think I would prefer Joe Burrow just because he typically makes less mistakes, and he typically, I mean, Mahomes is really clutch, really, really clutch. But just, I think overall, Joe Burrow tends to make slightly less mistakes or, kind of crazy, wild, loose cannon football decisions.
That's fair. I'd say that's a fair take.
Yeah, that's fair, but I disagree. I just think Mahomes is the best
I mean,
quarterback in
Mahomes is
football.
just insane. He's obviously. I mean, I hate to say it because I really want to see Jalen Hurts win MVP, but I think just statistically, Mahomes is just the clear-cut MVP at this point in the season.
Hmm. Man, this is a hot take episode, huh?
It is. It is.
Hey, I mean, I got one. Alex got one. AJ, you got one before we call it an
Hot
episode?
take.
Yeah.
Hot take.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds? No, I'm kidding.
I think Christian Watson is a better wide receiver than Drake London. Apparently,
Ooh.
that's a hot take. I don't think Drake London's very good at all.
I think he's good. I think he's played well, but I think Christian Watson, actually, based on the way he's played, I think he might have. We kind of already know what Drake London can be because he played at a good school against good competition and played well against those teams. But I think Christian Watson has more undefined upside than Drake London does.
I think Christian Watson's a top 3 rookie wide receiver.
He's playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Now, Alex, I know you hosted the show today, but does that mean I get the paper toss?
Well, we have run through all the content we wanted to run through today. Hope you guys enjoyed yet another episode of Boro Tailgate Talks. AJ, thank you so much for being on the show. Very fun having a guest on. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
This episode will be up later tonight, and our interview with Mike Miller, I haven't decided when it's going to be. Definitely probably either Sunday or Monday. I don't know yet. So Alex and I will discuss when that will go up. You'll see the premiere on YouTube, and but this is definitely going to go up later tonight. I will say that.
Yep, that's it for us from here. We will see you guys next week.